today's topic is the types of computers. So this particular topic is for the ninth grade students of CBSE. So I'm taking this topic for them. So anybody else who wants to know the types of computers are most welcome. They can go through this tutorial. So computers are basically, we are going to understand the types of computers, and we are going to categorize that in form of the purpose wise, okay, and the data wise and the size wise. Okay, so we're going to understand the purpose wise, as you can see over here, then the data wise, and then the size and the functionality of the computer. So these are the subcategories, you can say. So if we talk about the purpose wise computers, okay, so the first thing that comes is the general purpose computers. So we'll go to the general purpose computers. So a general purpose computer can be a desktop, and it can be a laptop, it can be a tablet, it can be your mobile, the smartphones basically. So these are all computers, all forms of computers, and they are considered as general purpose computers. So if we talk about your desktop, it's like a personal computer, and it remains at one place, and basically we don't have a battery for it, right? But it is not meant for that. Basically it is only meant to be at one place, and you have to work from that particular place. We cannot move this from one place to the another. But at the other hand, then there are laptops, which is like chargeable batteries there, and we can move with a laptop anywhere we want, and we can work onto it. And then there are other forms of computers also, like the tablet is there, the smartphone is also there. So all these are kind of computers, a general purpose computer. Now the word general purpose is used because these are meant for your general work. So for example, a person working in an office is preparing a presentation. So he is working on a presentation, and he is using a presentation software, isn't it? Another person is working on is a graphic designer, and he is designing something. So he's going to use the graphic designing software. So he can install that software, and he can use it. So this is actually meant for general purpose computer. Means there are multiple things we can achieve from such a computer, okay, where there are multiple softwares installed, and we can work on those software. Every particular software is meant for a particular task. So they have multiple tasks that we can achieve with general purpose computers. Then there are, like, you can use social networking websites, we can access a website, and there are so many other things we can do with a general purpose computer. We can also play a video game, isn't it? So it is basically meant for general work. Okay, so it is considered or categorized as general purpose computer. Okay, so the word general, understand it. So that's the general purpose computer. Next we are going to move with the special purpose. Now what are special purpose computers? Special purpose computers are basically specially designed for a particular task, okay, and most of the time they will be only working on that particular task, and they are kind of dedicated computers. So such kind of computers normally you're going to find in a hospital. And also another example is an ATM machine. The ATM machine, you can find a computer over there also, but it is only meant for the ATM work, for the ATM transactions. You can check your balance, you can withdraw the money. So that particular computer is only dedicated for that particular task. So that's the general purpose that I spoke before, and this is a special purpose computer, which is only meant for special work. Another example is like your washing machine. That is a fully automatic washing machine that I'm talking about. So you just have to set the program, and according to the program that you have set, the washing machine will take the water, it will spin, it will dry, it will do all the work, isn't it? So there is a special computer embedded into your washing machine, understand it? Okay, so that is also an example of a special purpose computer. Okay, so two categories we have taken: general purpose and special purpose. So that is the thing for the purpose wise computer. Now let's move to the data wise computer. Now these are like considered to be working with data. Okay, so first is the analog that we are going to look at. So analog computers work with analog signal. If you can see over here, this kind of signals is called as analog signal. Basically any kind of electrical wire basically the electricity passes through it, right? So that's kind of an analog signal, you can say. Okay, so analog signal is not very accurate as far as the definition is concerned. An analog computer is a type of computer that uses continuously changeable aspects of physical phenomena such as electrical, mechanical, or hydraulic quantities to model the problem being solved. So such kind of computers are actually meant to interact with the surrounding, with the environment. If you want to check whether the weather conditions or anything that interacts with the environment, or you can say with the bodies, the human bodies or any forms of bodies, it can interact. So if you want to know the pulse of a person, so over there also kind of analog computer works. So analog computers also you can find it mostly into an hospital. In fact, in a hospital the kind of computers we have are the hybrid one. We are going to talk about that. Okay, so this particular computer is kind of a computer which works on a analog signal, and that's the kind of signal. Okay, such kind of signal is called as analog signal. Okay, so basically it is used to interact with the environment. Okay, just to see whether what changes are taking place in your surrounding, or what is happening in the movements, or anything that has to be checked in your body. Okay, so that's analog computer. The next we are going to move is the digital computer. So basically a general purpose computer that we spoke about is normally a digital computer. So any computer that is your desktop, your laptop that normally we are using, all those computers are digital computers. And a digital computer basically has such signals where there is a 0 and 1. So 0 represents on and 1 represents off. So a digital computer is a computer which works on digital signal. 1 represents on and 0 represent off. A digital signal or digital data are very accurate, understand it. Okay, so the kind of computers that we are using in today's time, all those computers, the general purpose computers, normally comes under the digital computer. Basically we are in the digital era, and the gadgets, anything that we're using right now are the digital computers. Okay, so that's the digital computers. And then we have the third, that is the hybrid. Hybrid means the combination of analog and digital. So hybrid computers are computers that exhibit features of analog computers and digital computers both. The digital components normally serves as the controller and provides logical and numerical operations, while the analog components often serves as a solver of differential equations and other mathematical complex equations. In simple language, normally such computers, the hybrid computers, you find it into in a hospital where they need to check the heartbeat of a patient. At the same time they need some accurate data also. So a combination of analog and digital data both are working together. Such kind of computers are called as hybrid. Hybrid means both the features, so analog as well as digital, that forms a hybrid. Okay, so you can write in your own words, simple language. You can, anybody ask you, you can give your answer in your own words. So that's the hybrid computer. And then now that's the data wise that we have gone through, and then the size and functionality. Now this is really important. Now different sizes of computers we have. Okay, one by one we will go through that. First comes the desktop. The desktop computers we have already discussed. This is a desktop computer and it always remains at a single location. We cannot move this from one place to the another, and this is a digital computer, understand it. Now all the computers that we're going to talk are the digital computers. So a desktop computers is a personal computer designed for a regular use at a single location or near a desk or table due to its size and power requirement. It requires a power, it doesn't have a battery inside it, isn't it? And it is made for a single user, understand it. So the kind of desktops that we are using, those are desktop computers, so simple. Then comes the laptop. I guess even this is very much clear to you. A laptop, often called as notebook, is a small portable personal computer with a clamshell. This I have discussed before also. The second point is we can easily carry it anywhere we want. It also has a battery to give us the power supply by which we can work on it for hours. So that's the laptop computer. Even that's a digital machine, understand it. And then Tablets. I guess tablets, even you are aware of tablets. So a tablet is basically a combination of a laptop and a smartphone. A tablet computer, commonly shortened as tablet, is a mobile device typically with a mobile operating system and a touchscreen display processing circuitry and a rechargeable battery, and it is thin and flat package, isn't it? So we can also do some calling because it has a smartphone features also. So it is a kind of a combination of a laptop and a smartphone, but it is not a fully a laptop and neither it is fully a smartphone, understand it, it comes between them. So if you want the functionality of a laptop as well as of a smartphone, you can always go for a tablet, which is also a digital machine. Then comes smartphone. I don't think anybody really requires an introduction to this. Smartphone, everybody is aware that today's smartphone is also a computer, and there are so many functions available into a smartphone. Smartphones are a class of mobile phones of a multi-purpose mobile computing devices. They are distinguished from feature phones by the stronger hardware capabilities and extensive mobile operating system, which facilitate wider software internet. You can do so much of internet browsing onto it. You can download any apps, any kind of softwares that you want. There is a camera, there is a gaming capability, and so many other features are coming up, right? And there is a touch screen, and there are so many other things you can do with a smartphone. And as well as you can do your voice call and text messaging also. There are so many apps available. You can download any app for your work and you can work onto it. So this particular machine doesn't really require any kind of introduction. You can write in your own words about it. Okay, so that's the smartphone for you. Then comes, which is very important, that is a workstation. Now workstation is also kind of a desktop computer. Okay, first thing, but it is a kind of more powerful than a desktop computer, a bit more powerful. Why? Because such computers are actually placed as, are actually acting like a server for a LAN network, that is a local area network. So if there is a small local area network, such computers are kind of made like a server. Now the word workstation, do not get confused. When we talk about client server architecture, I'm talking about the architecture. Workstations are different and servers are different, but over here I'm only talking about a small network. The word workstation over here means a computer which is a bit more powerful than a desktop and which has some networking capability. Okay, so workstation is a special computer designed for technical or scientific applications. You can say intended to be used by one person at a time. Okay, and they are commonly connected to a local area network and run multi-user operating system. So workstation, it is a bit more powerful computer than your desktop computer. A normal desktop computer cannot work as a server, or it cannot be cannot get connected to the other PCs and can work with the same capability as a workstation, understand it. Okay, so that's the workstation for you. And then we have the mini computers. Now the word mini computers, nobody uses this word. It simply means the server computers. Understand one thing, mini computers means the server computer. Server computer means it is like very powerful computer which can easily act as a server for for other workstation, for other computers. So if there are some around 100 or 200 computers, the server can work as one particular powerful computer for all those machines. But it has its own limitation, and it is only meant for mid-size organization. Okay, if there is some organization where there are some around 100 computers, 150 or 200, such kind of organizations will be called as mid-size organization. So such computers, which is cost effective for them, they can use these servers for serving as a server for other computers to form a network, understand it. So a mini computer is a type of computer that possesses most of the features and capabilities of a large computer but is smaller in physical size. Mini computers are mainly used as small or mid-range server. So they are also called as mid-range server operating business and scientific application. Mini computers may also be called as mid-range computer, understand it. Okay, so that is about the mini computers. And then comes, very important, is the mainframe. Now mainframe computers, they are like huge, okay, and they have a huge processing capability. They can process huge request. So normally in today's time of mainframe computers, normal people will never buy this. This is only held by multinational companies where they have to process huge data, okay. And normally hosting companies where they website are hosted, all your website, if you have a website, it has been hosted onto a mainframe computer, and a mainframe computer always works on a client server architecture. So if you are kind of accessing any website, for example any website you access, so it is kind of a request sent to the computer. And which computer is that it's a mainframe computer, because you're not the only person who is accessing, or you're accessing a particular website. For example Facebook, if you're accessing Facebook, you're not the only person who is accessing Facebook. There are multiple people, there are millions of people who are accessing Facebook. So for such requests, now there are multiple and millions of requests comes to the computer, right? So obviously Facebook, they have like multiple servers, that's a different thing, but a server can process multiple requests. Such kind of computers are called as mainframe computers, okay. So they can process huge and bulk data processing can also be done, understand it. So it's very huge, okay. So this is about the mainframe computers. And at the last we have the supercomputer. Everybody has heard this word supercomputer. Supercomputer is a computer that performs, I've given the same picture out here, but that's about the mainframe computers by mistake. But supercomputer are actually it works for the highest operational rate for computers. Traditionally, supercomputers have been used for scientific and engineering applications. So basically, in space, for space research and all, we require supercomputers for just working super fast, right? It is very expensive, and some of the Indian supercomputers that are developed are Aditya, which is developed by the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, that is Pune, and Anupam, developed by Bhabha Automatic Research Center, that is BARC, and Param U 2, developed by Center for Development of Advanced Computing, that is by CDAC. That is Saga, developed by Indian Space Research Organization. You are aware of this, that's the ISRO, right? So all these computers, basically a supercomputer is used by scientific reasons, and for into space research, and anything that is into engineering part, okay. So for that reasons we use a supercomputer, okay. So that's about the types of computers, and I hope you have now understood the types of computers, and it will surely help you a lot, okay. That's it for today. Bye for now.